Everybody, I am meteorologist Angie Lassman. Good Saturday afternoon. Boy, it's been a while. We've been tracking Hurricane Isaias, and we're continuing to do so here at NBC6. So I wanted to hop on, give you guys the latest update, because of course we've been pinpointing Saturday as the day where you'll feel most of the impact. So if you do, just a little FYI, if you do have a question and you want to leave it in the comments, I'll try to answer it while I'm on with you guys. So let's get started. First things first, I want to show you that latest advisory. So just a caveat, this one came out at 2 o'clock. This is an intermediate advisory, so we don't get track updates with the ones that are in between the big updates, but this one is still showing a weaker Hurricane Isaias. Now, I kind of expected this. If you were watching at 2 o'clock on NBC6, you heard me say that the overall health of the system, how it looks on satellite and visible imagery, isn't great. Most of the thunderstorms are displaced from the center. So just a slight weakening as far as Hurricane Isaias is in the latest update. So winds are at 75 miles per hour. I expect the pressure to come up just a little bit in the next update, and maybe those winds coming down slightly or just staying as a category 1, but still moving northwest at 12 miles per hour. No changes in the watches or warnings. That has not changed. If we continue on and look at our next graphic, you'll see what I mean when I'm talking about the weakening of the system. So where you see the oranges, that's where you see a lot of convection. So a lot of thunderstorm activity. Most of the time, if you note where that one is, that's the center of the storm. Most of the time, you'd see plenty of orange surrounding that convection surrounding the center of the storm, but we just aren't seeing that. Most of the convection has dissipated, and all of it is displaced to the south and east of the center. So what does this mean? It means that it's struggling. It's dealing with some dry air, trying to wrap in from the west. If you look just to the west of the system, you can see all of that clear sky. Yeah, there's dry air working in, there's shear working in. So these things they're not conducive to strengthening or even maintaining a strength for a hurricane. Either way, though, the impacts have not changed. So if we go to the next graphic, you'll see what I'm talking about as far as impacts. Still, tropical storm force winds possible. If you've been out and about over the last, say, 45 minutes, really since 2 o'clock, we had a line of thunderstorms work through. This was one of the bands that moved through our area, affecting everybody. It's still pushing in as of right now. And we're still dealing with some heavy rain in that, as well as some gusty winds up to 50 miles per hour in spots. So we're monitoring that. With these, a lot of times you know that there could be the potential for some weak rotation. So this is something you see when rain bands are working in. And I had a lot of folks asking me, where is the bad weather? Well, it has arrived. We've finally seen some of these bands working in. And as we progress through the rest of your afternoon and into the rest of your evening hours, and even overnight, as that system sits just offshore, we'll continue to see these bands working in. So I'm looking at my radar as of right now. Heavy rain working through Davie, Hollywood, Miramar, North Miami, Hialeah, basically everybody. Yeah, Josh says he's getting a heavy rain band in Pembroke Pines right now. And you know what? Those can pack a punch as far as winds as well. It's not just the heavy rain. So I hope everybody did bring in their lighter patio furniture, any of the plants that needed to be brought in, those kind of things. Let's see what else people are saying. It's a little dark in Pompano Beach. Yeah. And, you know, the farther north you go, the better chance you have for seeing some of those stronger wind gusts here through the rest of the day. So what you're seeing right now is the trend. Right now we have a band working through. Behind this band, we'll see some quieter weather for a bit. And then another band will work through. So once that system has finally lifted and is well to our north, then we'll start to see those kind of dialing back, not as many bands working in. I see Terry says lots of rain in Brickell in West Miramar. I hear Carrie saying that. It's raining in Hialeah. Yeah, so this is what we're watching for. I do want to just highlight the fact that we could see some heavy rain leading to some localized flooding. So best to just stay home for the rest of the day, maybe put on some movies. But otherwise, if you are heading out, if you do need to be on the road, not driving through those flooded roadways, we see this happen all the time. Do you guys have any questions? If you do, just put them in there. I see a lot of people saying wind and rain, Southwest Ranches, raining in Kendall Lakes, West Hollywood. if weakening will move to the west more. Yeah, we could see that. How come you don't see strong? How come you don't see this? Gisela says, how come you don't see the strong rains that we have right now in Miami? I don't know what you mean. We do have strong rains in Miami as of right now. I don't know where exactly you're located, but if you're in the city of Miami, heavy rain is working through, and those could pack a punch with the winds as well. They're quick moving rain bands, but the problem is there's more once one has left, there's more behind that. Winds are going to continue picking up. I see Angela saying it's raining in Oak Park. Will we get this weather the rest of today and all night? So the rest of today and into the overnight hours, you will see these gusty squalls coming in. That is exactly what we're watching for. What's the worst wind to expect near, Charlotte says, what's the worst wind to expect near, where'd it go? Pinecrest. So worst wind, tropical storm force. Possibility of winds up to 50 miles per hour? Yes. Not going to see hurricane force winds. We're not close enough to the center of that storm, because the hurricane force winds are very confined. They're not far reaching like the tropical storm force winds, which are far reaching no matter where that center has been. We've always been expecting that we will see some tropical storm force winds. What else? Someone said, what else do we have? Is it possible that once it hits open water for it to maybe shift west and get slightly stronger? Yeah, I think that that the possibility of it getting stronger than a category 1, not likely. Could it have a little bit of a shift west? Well, if it continues to get weaker, but our impacts here in South Florida don't change. They're going to remain the same. And again, I'd like to highlight those because I think that's what people mainly care about. The possibility for these gusty rain bands to work through. We'll have some heavy rain associated with those, as well as wind speeds up to 40, 50 miles per hour. What else? Patio furniture bring in or unnecessary. I think it depends on where you are, because if you're trying to go bring it in right now, I would say you shouldn't if you're in any of the areas that are seeing that band moving in. So I guess if you're in Northwest Broward County, you still have a little time, but in maybe southern Miami-Dade County, say Homestead, but that rain has basically spread into most of the area. Weston, Tamarack, Margate, Sunrise, you guys have a couple minutes where you could go grab it and bring it in. But I think the rest of us have already seen that squally weather working in, and I think the time to bring in the patio furniture has passed for you. Might we see tornadoes? Yeah, there's always a possibility that we could see just little rotations because of how the storm is circulating and then it moves on shore. It promotes the possibility for some rotation. Now, it's a possibility. We cannot rule that out. But as of right now, we're not looking at there's no rotation. I've actually been monitoring that because we've been watching whenever these rain bands come in. I don't know if you guys were with us watching during Irma, but we were calling those out early because we do, of course, have the only live radar in town. So we can kind of see that ahead of time before the National Weather Service puts out their watches and warnings. So we're still watching that. Stacy says, thank you for being available. You're welcome. That's what we're here for. You guys can, of course, always ask me questions on Facebook. You can find me, Angie Lassman, on Instagram, Angie NBC6, and it's the same for Twitter. What else? Some people being rude. I'm not going to answer that. I work at night. Is it safe to drive around 6 p.m. in Palm Beach? Honestly, Patricia, I would hold off because the farther north you go, if you're in Palm Beach, you guys have a better chance of seeing some of those stronger winds. Not a huge chance for seeing hurricane force winds, but they'll get gustier. And again, as we get into the later evening hours, that storm is going to be a little bit closer, especially as you look towards Palm Beach with the current track. Let's see. What else you guys have? Nothing here in Broward, just a nice breeze. That'll change here in just a few minutes. Sarasota. You guys should be okay in Sarasota. Keeping it real with the rude people. Yeah, Chris. Got to. Great breeze here in HS. Okay. Is there still a chance for the Cat 1 hurricane to turn back west? Oh, someone wants to know about shutters in Coral Springs. I don't think you need shutters. We don't have a chance for Category 1 hurricane or for hurricane force winds in Coral Springs or anywhere in Broward or Miami-Dade at this time. Is there still chance for the Category 1 hurricane to turn back west? There's chance for it to continue shifting a little west. For us here in South Florida, we're no longer in that kind of concern. So we're not going to see it here moving onshore and making landfall. But as it goes up the coast, we will have to watch and see how the environment plays a role in its intensification. Remember, if you have friends and family up north towards Jacksonville, even the Space Coast, I have lots of friends up there. I went to school in Melbourne, so I have lots of friends and whatnot that I've been telling to stay connected, especially as this progresses. Now, beyond that, the Georgia coast, the Carolinas, all areas that we'll have to watch, and even up towards the Northeast. Really, the entire Eastern Seaboard is where we're going to have to watch for impacts from Isaias as we go even into next week. Let's see, what else? Does it get stronger coming up the coast? Sue says. It does not. It remains a Category 1 as of right now. Category. Carrie says, what and when should we expect, if anything, in Boynton Beach? So now through your overnight hours is when I'm talking about those periods of rain that bring gusty winds, heavy rain as those rain bands work in. Again, I think a lot of people early today were like, where is all the bad weather? These meteorologists don't know what they're talking about, but we do, we know. And I want you to just make sure that you know that a rain band will work through, and behind that, after the heavy rain, after the gusty winds, once that's through, it'll be a little drier. You'll have some quiet weather, and then more will come through. That's what we're expecting. Let's see. Robert says, will we see outer rain bands tomorrow in South Florida, or can we expect sunny skies? So I think into the morning hours, you could still see some rain around. By then, even by late tonight, that storm will be just a little to our north. So we'll start to see things quieting down into the overnight hours. And then we'll see better conditions tomorrow, not quite as unsettled, but it's not going to be sunny skies. So we'll have to watch for that. How about in Miami-Dade? Is it going to be safe to drive tonight? It depends on what time. I think that Miami-Dade, the farther south you go, the better it is. But again, you see what we're dealing with right now as one of those bands works in, and there's some gusty winds. There's some heavy rain, so decreased visibility for sure. Flooding on the roadways, not out of the question. The good news is that we actually will see these moving quite quickly. So there's that. Okay, guys. Let's see. Do I suggest shutters? Honestly, guys, if you live in Broward, Miami-Dade, or Monroe County, you do not need shutters. Okay. If you guys have any more questions, I think that's good. That's good enough. I hope this was helpful for you guys. Like I said, you can find me on Instagram, on Twitter, on Facebook. My name is Angie Lassman. It's right there on the bottom, or this way. Sorry. And on Instagram, Angie NBC6, and on Twitter. On Facebook, I think I'm Angie Lassman TV, but whatever. One more question from, do you think we might lose power in Coral Springs? You know, it's hard to predict that, but I wouldn't be surprised if a small amount of people lose power here across the area with some of these gustier winds moving in. I don't think it'll be widespread power outages, but again, when we're talking 40, 50 mile per hour winds, not out of the question. The farther north you go, the better chance you have for that. I think if you live in Miami-Dade, not likely, but still we'll have to watch and see. Okay. I hope everyone is doing okay. I know 2020 is crazy, so I hope that NBC6 has been helping you get through that. We are always here for you. You guys can see my handle right there. If you want to find me anywhere, I am happy to answer questions for you. send me a message, leave a comment here on this Facebook Live, and we'll get you more answers. Ryan Phillips, John Morales, they're all going to be here taking care of us through the rest of the afternoon. And we'll be keeping you guys connected. You can find, of course, more on all of our social media platforms, but also on our website, NBCmiami.com, as well as our app. Our app is super helpful. It'll send you push alerts. It'll give you all the latest details on this. Patricia, you're awesome. You're welcome. You guys, thank you so much for being so sweet. Glenda, you're so sweet as well. You're welcome. I'm happy to do it, guys. I know that it can be scary to be dealing with a hurricane in the middle of a pandemic, but 2020, right? We're going to get through it. Hopefully you guys are staying safe. Again, any questions, just feel free to let me know. And for now, I'll see you guys later. We'll keep you updated. Have a good rest of your, what day is it? Oh, it's Saturday. It's Saturday. Okay, see you guys later.